The biggest piece of this is that new patient experience before the patient steps foot into the door and then after they leave. So the practices that we work with, just like you described, most of our practices are that higher end fee-for-service looking to drive a more premium patient. They get it. They're just like you shared with me when we first met, how you treated your practice and the type of experience that you provided for your patient was elevated.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Raving Patients Podcast. As you know, I'm your host, Dr. Len Tao, and I hope you're having a wonderful day, evening, wherever you're listening to the podcast episode or even watching it in video format on YouTube. I always want to thank my sponsors, both Dental Intelligence and Rave, for their support, allowing me to come to your inbox every single Friday at 5 a.m. with a new episode. I also want to remind everybody about my event, Supercharge Your Dental Practice. It's literally just about a month away, I think 5 weeks exact. If you're listening to this and you haven't registered, it's at Pier 66 in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. When I'm recording this, I actually just got back from the resort. I was there just last night for a walkthrough, and I slept in one of the rooms. It is one of the most beautiful resorts you've ever seen in your entire life. So if you haven't registered and you want to take advantage of a great event, great CE, wonderful speakers, and a really great venue, you want to go to superchargerdentalpractice.com and use the code RAVING, R-A-V-I-N-G, to save $100 on your registration. So check out the event. You do not want to miss this. Today's episode is called More Than Marketing, Building a Premium Brand Patients Rave About. And my guest is Jackie Cullen from my dental agency. So I'm going to read Jackie's bio, and then we'll jump right into content and learn a little bit about what she and how she helps dental practices. So with over a decade of experience in corporate dental lab marketing and brand strategy, Jackie Ulasewicz Cullen, I think I got that right, turned her deep-rooted passion for the dental industry into something more personal and impactful, co-founding my dental agency alongside Sean Berg. Together, they've built a boutique marketing agency that partners with private dental practices across the country to help them clarify their message, attract the right patients, and grow through intentional, data-driven marketing. Jackie and Sean are equally passionate about empowering dental teams to take ownership of their marketing. They speak regularly at dental events nationwide, sharing real-world insights and proven strategies that help practices move beyond generic advertising and into meaningful, sustainable growth. Jackie is also a published author of 3 dental marketing books and a regular contributor to several leading dental industry publications, including the AGD Impact, where I've seen her many, many times. So please welcome to the Raving Patients Podcast, Jackie Ulasewicz Cullen.
You did well on that name, and thank you for having me, Len. I am super excited.
I am super excited to have you as well. And by the way, guys, she has a book she sent me. It's highly recommend it. It's called A Guide to Attracting Premium Patients. And the title is How to Get Patients Raving About You. So it's everything I talk about. So Jackie, to begin with, why don't you kind of tell dental practices a little bit more about how you help them and why they should listen to this episode?
Yeah, sure. Well, there's a lot of us out there, right? There's a lot of dental marketing companies and people like me out there. So, maybe I'll start with, kind of what differentiates us. So, we are a digital marketing agency. We work with private practices all over the nation and Canada. So, our goal is to really look at marketing more comprehensively. We bring to life what their brand truly is. So a lot of practices, like internally, they know exactly the type of patients they want to attract. They have a practice that they built internally. Now we just need to help them externally be able to speak to who they are and really get the patients that they want in their practice. And really looking at this not only from a marketing standpoint, but like we're about to talk about here today, really looking at that new patient experience, because that is key to marketing.
Got it. Well, like I said, I've seen you in AGD magazine for quite a long time. I love getting the thin magazine, so I'm always reading that, but I always check out the articles that you write. So that's how I was familiar with what you brought to the industry. Obviously, you are helping practices market their practice, or dentists help it market their practice. And as you said, there's a lot of people in the industry, a lot of marketing agencies, almost too many in my opinion. And they all say they can do things. They all make promises they can't keep. Unfortunately, it's a space I've been in for a very long time. So I want to start off with some misconceptions about marketing that you wish more dentists would unlearn about marketing.
So there is a few of them. I'll speak to two. Actually, the reason I want to speak to two is because you just mentioned one that I am very passionate about. There are a lot of really good agencies in our space. There is, however, some obstacles with marketing and people promising more than they can actually deliver. And I feel extremely passionate about practices helping them unlearn some of those bad habits, if you will, of what other agencies may preach. And because there is no silver bullet, I said this when you and I first met, there's no silver bullet in marketing. I hate to say it, but there isn't. I've been in marketing. I graduated with a marketing degree. I've been in this for over 2 decades now. And it takes a lot of work to know what is working and what's not. So really helping practices unlearn that misconception of, there is this one silver bullet. And that kind of leads me into, I don't know what it is, but dentists hang their hat and, latch on to SEO. And that's all they focus on. And not that SEO is necessarily, something you shouldn't do. You absolutely should. But putting all of your eggs in that basket is a misconception I wish more practices, could unlearn. That, just focusing on SEO, only thinking about that, only thinking about how they're ranking and being number one, and that being, everything that they want to strive for. It's just not the only marketing channel and can't be the only thing you rely on because it is so volatile. And it doesn't always work as well as some people would like to think it does. Some markets, it doesn't work as well, depending on how competitive it is. So I think those are two things that I would love dentists and practices to unlearn.
So I want to expand on that a little bit. So you have a dental office in a very competitive city.
Yeah. Okay.
Obviously, in my opinion, you may disagree with me. In my opinion, the first page is gold, marketing gold, and if you can't get to page 1, it's going to be very difficult to really see any lift from online marketing because it's very hard to find you. Okay, its visibility is a problem.
Sure.
So if you're in a very competitive area, how much SEO should they put their eggs in the basket in, versus a smaller town where there's not that many dentists and getting to the first page is going to be easier.
Yeah.
How about that when it comes? So can you play those two scenarios out for me and your thought process? Obviously, there's more things to do. You've got reviews, you've got listings, and all these other things that play a role.
Yes.
But what about the website SEO is really my concern here.
So this is important. Our philosophy doesn't change when it comes to marketing more comprehensively. But to your point, if it was a practice that was in a more remote area and they can capitalize and own that space, it is going to be a lot easier. SEO, no matter where you do it, there's a lot of factors and there is, a lot of things that could affect it. So when looking at a more competitive area, you have to be more aggressive. You have to invest more, and it does mean a long-term strategy. No one is going from the 10th page to the first page overnight, especially if you haven't had your website for a long time, if you've recently switched your domains, if, many, many different factors, right? So, being more aggressive in those areas is what it's going to take, but you can't just rely on that. I agree with you. It is going to be hard to reach some of your goals if you are not ranking well in a competitive area. But there are other ways to attract those patients that you want. There's other marketing channels that you can capitalize on to help kind of make that full marketing puzzle work. Because I've never seen one practice rely on one channel to drive every single new patient. There is not a practice that I know that just solely relies on SEO and everything else kind of flounders. You have a bad, review ratings. You're not active on social media, which also reviews, social media also play into SEO. If the website doesn't speak to who they are and they're not converting the people that are finding them, all of these things play a role. So even if you are ranking really well, we'll just say really well, and you kind of don't have some of those other things in play, it's going to hinder your results. It just will.
Got it. So let's talk about what we call an omnichannel approach. If someone's coming to you, and I know you deal with the higher level practices, I don't really know if there's a better way to say it, is that the fee for service practices, the ones that are attracting the higher end patients, would be a great way to describe your agency, more boutique style. Someone comes to you and they want to set up a marketing plan, and we're talking about an omni-channel approach.
Yep.
Okay. So with the omni-channel approach, what are some things that you're telling practices that they have to get involved with, or have to start doing to really start looking at a long-term result versus something very, very short-term?
Yeah. So the first thing is most practices come to us and don't know what they actually need. So it's very far and few between that people want to take that, omni-channel approach. They often don't know what that is. And what we want to identify is, where are they today? What are they doing today that's working well? What's happening in their marketplace? And what is the best strategy for them? What type of budget do they have? What investment do they need to make to reach their goals? So for us, we kind of take a step back to better understand where our opportunities are. Everybody is in a little bit different of a position. Some people have been around for 20 years and doing well with word of mouth and had their domain for a very long time and rank fairly well. And they've started to gain some new reviews. They're a little bit ahead of the curve from some other practices where it's going to take a lot more effort and a lot more channels to reach their goals. I always tell practices, if someone came to me and said, I have somewhat of an unlimited budget, which that rarely happens, but they want to take a much more broad approach, what I would refer to as omnichannel, where they're willing to invest in, things like billboard, radio, digital, television, being out in the market with, kind of grassroots efforts. That all plays a large role. I've had a few practices through the 10 years that I've owned my agency that honestly get that, and that they know they have to show up in many different places outside of just digital. And man, did those practices, they were cranking and they got it.
Got it. No, that makes sense. So obviously you're very much into the patient experience, because you want to make sure that patients are very happy, but you also want to make sure that the practices are very happy with what you're doing for them. So how are you helping practices go from, I guess, just ordinary to extraordinary, or from fine to, unforgettable? Talk about how you take that approach with practices, because again, they're reaching out to you for a specific reason. How do you get them from where they are to the next level?
So the biggest piece of this is that new patient experience before the patient steps foot into the door and then after they leave. So the practice that we work with, just like you described, most of our practices are that higher end fee for service looking to drive a more premium patient. They get it. They're just like you shared with me when we first met, how you treated your practice and the type of experience that you provided for your patient was elevated. That was all mostly internal. And that's what's happening with a lot of our practices. Internally, they're getting the spa treatment, or they're getting that, white glove service inside the practice. But what's happening prior to them coming in? Are we not communicating well with new patients? Are we not telling them that we care by even just responding to them when they reach out to us? So, taking someone from fine to kind of memorable is just little things, Len. It is little things that we could do to make, a ripple effect. And one of the things that we talk about is when someone reaches out to you and fills out a form to request an appointment, are you even responding to them? And how quickly? And how often? And what kind of experience are you giving them? And then before they step foot in the door, are you providing that wow factor? Are you making them feel like, man, this doctor, this practice really cares about me? And they haven't even seen me yet. They have not seen me face to face yet. They actually give a shit. And, really taking that they're leveling up their new patient experience. And it doesn't take much to do it, because that can differentiate you from all the other practices in the area, just those small tweaks. Same thing when they leave. Are we staying in front of them? Are we communicating with them? Are we showing up more often than just the 2 times a year that they're coming into your practice? Doesn't take much.
And if you remember when we spoke, I told you that I had taken the patient experience to the next level in my own practice. Right. I would always call new patients before they came into the practice. That was the biggest wow factor of them all, where they would be with a hygienist I wouldn't call necessarily, but if they were either a consult with me or coming in for a procedure for whatever reason, I would be the first one. I would call them myself. I would welcome them into the practice. I would start the level of trust that I needed to make sure that they would move forward with me. I used an example. Because I live in Florida and the practice was in Philadelphia, I was always aware of what was going on. And one evening, a woman reached out on chat and said that she broke a veneer and was inquiring about doing 6 total veneers, and was inquiring about cost, etc. And this was like at midnight. And I was super responsive to her. We started to text each other, and I told her that it was the dentist on the line, and she couldn't believe it. She was so flabbergasted that I would take the time out of my schedule or out of my day at that late at night to communicate with her. And she literally came in the next day when I was back in the practice and started a 6 veneer case almost immediately. So I think that's something that very few practices provide, let alone a few dentists provide. I think that's the single biggest factor that can grow a practice.
Basic human connection. Basic human connection. We, in this society, consumer behavior has changed, and we are looking for those connections. And when we get them, it blows people away. And it really is. I just had a conversation with a doctor that she is always willing to take that next step, to go beyond the norm. And she's like, what do you think about me writing, these handwritten letters to this bucket of patients or this bucket of patients that didn't move forward? And I was like, this is exactly the stuff you need to be doing. What does it take you on a Friday to sit down 20 minutes and handwrite some letters and actually send it through the mail? That is going to, have an impact, and people are going to remember that. They're going to turn into your raving fans.
Exactly, 100% agree with you. And I struggle, especially when it comes to bad reviews. I was always the person that took the time out of my schedule to reach out to a patient who was potentially upset or annoyed about something that happened in the practice. That was my job. And I try to teach this to clients that I work with, and they're like, they want to let an office manager do it. And it's very different coming from an office manager. It's still better than no response.
Sure.
But I want that if the dentist does it, it takes it to the next level, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. And we encourage our clients to do the same. At minimum, someone needs to be reaching out, best if the dentist actually shows that they care. We've actually had patients go back and adjust what they had said. Not often, but it happens because it was, something happened and then you showed that you cared.
You know how many times I called patients myself and they either took the review down or they edited it or changed it from a 1-star to a 3-star review.
Yes.
And that's a hell of a lot better than a 1-star review. But the thing is, you don't ask them to do it, though. That you fix their issue, you address their concerns. Many of them do it on their own without having to ask them. I wouldn't put it as, hey, would you take the review down? Don't do that. That doesn't look very good.
No,
Okay.
The point should be you're trying to better understand what happened and transpired. You're making that human connection with them and saying that you care and understand. And then if that is the result, great.
Exactly, 100%. So I know one of the things we had talked about last time we spoke was that you like to focus on, I call it the 3 R's, okay? Retention, relationships, and reputation. Mm-hmm. So which of these do you think practices undervalue and why? And where do you think they should put more eggs in their basket in too?
I do know that practices, especially over the last, I would say 5 years or so, understand that reputation is important. That I think that's the clear one. They understand that how they do it. Some of them, don't quite know how to get there. But reputation, I think, is a given. I do strongly believe that practices understand that relationship is important. They might not understand kind of what I was just explaining about how do they take the relationship outside of the practice and really make sure that they're fostering it, building the trust and rapport before someone steps in. So I do think they get the relationship, just not really understanding just yet how to take it outside the practice. I think it's retention. I think retention is something that a lot of people don't focus on. I think I know that practices know that it's important, but existing patients, and I'll say this till I'm blue in the face, it's not the sexy thing to talk about. It's not the sexy thing in marketing to talk about, existing patients, but it is something that cannot be ignored. And it is part of our marketing strategy because of how important it is, driving more value out of those existing patients, leveraging them to get in front of their friends and family and building that relationship even further than what it is inside the practice, I think is undervalued. I think there's a lot to say about making sure that, you are putting a focus on your existing patients. I can't tell you, Len, how many times I have been on a call with a prospective client that says, Jackie, I had Jane Doe go down the street to get veneers because she didn't realize I did it. I had John Doe go down the street because they didn't realize I did Invisalign. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a thing. That absolutely is a thing. Because you're a dentist, you're working, you're doing your thing that you're passionate about. You're not sitting there marketing your practice inside your practice, but you can't ignore it. And there's a lot of value there. There's so much value of encouraging your patients to move forward with treatment. You clearly treatment plan them. You want them to get healthy. You see an opportunity for them to get healthy and not, have, pain down the road, more of an investment down the road. You treatment planned it. Let's get them over the hump. There's a reason that they're not over the hump. And I think there's value in educating patients when, they leave the practice and why you had that treatment plan and why it's important. Sharing stories. I can't tell you how many times I've seen a practice that will share a true emotional story from a patient and another patient sees it and it resonates with them and it gets them over the hump. They're like, oh, I was just like this patient. I was apprehensive. I didn't want to take the time out of my schedule to get that big procedure. I think it's something that most people ignore.
Yeah, patient retention is really important. It costs so much more money to attract a new patient to your practice. Yeah. And you have these patients in your practice, and if you lose them, you can't imagine the effect it has. And it's funny, when I talk to dentists and I ask them questions like, do you know how many new patients you get? They answer that immediately because they know that. Yep. That's the number they know. But then you ask them, well, how many patients leave your practice or become inactive over time? And they have no clue. They have no clue. And a lot of times when I do dental intel analysis on what they have, they're actually contracting. They're losing more patients than they're actually attracting to the practice. And they have no knowledge of that. They don't understand that.
Yeah.
So retention is really important because, again, it costs so much money to attract patients to the practice and keep them long term. So, yep. And in what you said related to the fact that they didn't know I did veneers or they didn't know I did Invisalign and they went to another practice, I blame the office for that because they're not discussing, they're not advertising internally to be able to, right. That's internal marketing in my opinion. And You're just not letting patients know what services you offer, a menu of services. Did you know, having a screen up in the waiting room that says, did you know we offer these services? Yeah. There's simple things you can do to make sure patients know that they're being offered in the practice. When I bought my practice in 2007, the dentist who unfortunately had committed suicide, he was very well known for cosmetic dentistry and big cases. Mm. And I was talking to a patient and she said that she brought her family to another practice down the street because she didn't think we did general dentistry. Oh. And I was like, that hit a trigger in my mind that I have to rebrand how the practice looks because I was a general dentist. I was not I like doing big cases, but the bread and butter dentistry is what keeps a practice going for a long time because everybody needs those things. So I had to relook at the way my practice was branded, which I had purchased, and I wanted to make it more family friendly. So I completely understand what you're saying there.
Yeah, the value in, keeping those relationships going is huge.
100% so. What about, we talked about SEO. You talked about the retention. You mentioned reviews and how important they are. Yeah. What other things should practices be paying attention to? What is your feeling about social media? And what I mean by social media is like just posting, not advertising. Okay. Social media advertising is different than social media posting. One's paid for, one's not.
That's
so I'm curious your thought process there. And then what about AdWords and doing ads on Google to attract patients?
Yeah. Social media is one that this is something that I think is an absolute necessity to show and show your practice, humanize you, humanize your team. Patients aren't necessarily going to social media to make a decision, but they are going to social media to make a connection. And if they see that their friend goes to Dr. Len and they happen to stumble upon your page, they want to be able to, obviously you want to build trust. and you want to humanize yourself and make that connection with them. And social media is a great way to do that, especially with how video is these days. Being able to show what type of practice you are. And it's not just all the fluff social media posts. I'm talking about real custom good posts, that are showing. You don't have to do silly dances on social media to make a connection, but even just short clips of education and the benefits. I had a practice just recently do a video. They had their hygienist do a video of proper brushing. Sounds silly. You think everyone knows how to properly brush or floss. Those videos do really, really well on social media. They get a lot of views. Now, that's my stance on social media. I do think it's extremely important to have that. Is it driving the biggest amount of new patients to the practice out of all the channels? Absolutely not. But does it help enhance and facilitate? 100%. As it relates to ads on Google specifically, it is a great medium to drive very targeted patients, because you can target people that are searching for specific things like implants, cosmetic, even people looking for a new dental home. And when you do that properly, when you send them to a landing page that has only that information about dental implants or cosmetic as an example, you have the opportunity to convert some of these patients that are looking and searching for these things, converting them into really good patients in the practice. It also takes a lot of data and a lot of pivots and a lot of refining to really get those right patients. But they are a great way to get in front of people that are searching. You have your organic and you have the ads that are there. And I will say, I have people tell me all the time, I don't click on those ads, so is anyone clicking on them? Google wouldn't be around if people weren't clicking on them. And in our agency, Len, we close the loop too. So when we know someone schedules a call, we're asking our practice, what's transpiring? Are they getting treatment planned? Making sure that those campaigns are working. We can see when those implant those implant patients are coming in and accepting treatment for $15,000, $20,000, $50,000. We see that. So we know it's working.
Got it. Let's talk about one of the things that I hear a lot of from practices, and I'm literally just messaging with somebody right now, and they are gun shy about moving forward with other agencies because they had a very bad experience. There was no accountability for the practice, and they felt like they waited tens of thousands of dollars, which is something we hear in the industry a lot, unfortunately. Yep. So for someone who's listening to this and they're saying, well, just another marketing agency, sure, how do you kind of alleviate that concern? Because that's a question I get a lot. Is I don't want to use someone where I'm going to get screwed over again. So again, how do you alleviate that from a concern that a potential client has if they reach out to you for a consultation about what you can do for their practice?
This is one of the toughest things, but I kind of practice what I preach. I want to build trust in you. I want you to know what my philosophies are. If we align on our philosophies and how we approach business, I want to build that trust. So, I want to be extremely transparent. I'm going to take every step to be transparent about what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and how I'm doing it. I'm going to walk you through all the campaigns that I want to do. But the biggest thing this comes down to, it's a partnership for me. I'm not going to tell you that this thing is going to go off like gangbusters in month one. I just won't. I'm not going to say that. I want to show you and I want to prove to you that these things do work. And it is that long-term strategy where you're going to see that snowball effect. I can show you all the data and the metrics. I can show you all of those things from past clients. I think every agency can do that. But what I need is that connection with the practice. Just like practices are very particular about who they work with as an agency, we are as well. And if it doesn't feel like a good fit, we're going to raise our hand just like a practice should. This does not feel like a good fit. Doesn't feel like we're aligned in what we're trying to achieve here. So, when practice asks me, well, you're comparing apples to apples. I'm talking to ABC agency and I'm talking to you. Tell me what's different. What I tell them, let's stop for a second. Who do you feel like you can trust? Who do you feel like you can have open communication with? This is a relationship. I'm going to tell you when something's not going right, and we're going to make a pivot. I'm shining a light on things that aren't working, whether it's us, the practice, a combination thereof, and we're talking about the solution. We're not talking about the problem. That's the biggest thing to me. I don't give a crap what the problem is. What's our solution, man? What are we trying to do? Let's pivot, because you're going to go somewhere else. Grass is greener. I've had so many practices come back to me. I've actually had 2 in the past probably 9 months come back. They left. Grass was greener. Came right back. And hey, sometimes you got to let them go and see what's going on elsewhere. But they know that they can trust us, that what we're saying is truthful. And when stuff isn't working, we're being the first to knock on your door and saying, this part of the campaign is not working. We need to do something different.
Got it. No, that makes a lot of sense. And, you have a boutique type agency. You're not treating hundreds of dentist clients.
No.
And you're very involved deep in the trenches. Okay. As someone who is, working with clients to ensure they get a better experience. So why is that something that's important to you where you're so much involved, compared to other agencies where you sign up and the owner doesn't ever have anything to do with you anymore until you have a concern and then they reach out trying to figure out what's going on?
Because of the exact thing you just said. Because of so many practices being burnt. So many people saying that, I bought into this one thing and then it just, fizzled out over 8 months. It fizzled out over a year. I don't want that to happen. If I can control anything, it's the controllables, our customer service, what we're doing to communicate, how we're partnering, how we're always testing. I can control that. And I'm going to do damn good at it because that is something that I know is lacking in this industry. I want to make sure that they feel taken care of. I want to give them that white glove service. And if I'm not in the trenches, if I'm not knowing what's going on, I'm not going to be able to offer that level of experience for them too. So that's important to me. I think it's one, we're talking about customer service for patients, talking about customer service for, and the experience for practices. It's lacking.
Got it. You walk the walk and you talk the talk, which is important.
I try. I stumble. I stumble a couple times. I trip over myself, but I try.
And I'm the same way. So I agree with that 100%. So we're kind of getting short on time. So my first question to you is there anything that we didn't talk about that you want to bring up?
No, I think we covered it all.
Okay. So what we'll do is we'll grab your contact information. I know you have a book that you wanted to offer as well. So we'll grab that in a little bit. I want to transition to the lightning round Q&A that we're going to do. It's only going to take a couple of minutes to get through this, but very fast answers like I always say. I'm going to pull up my program here called Pod Decks, and we'll start with some of these questions. They're usually all business-related questions. Jackie has no idea what I'm going to ask. I'm just waiting for the app to load, and it's never taken this long to load before, which is kind of interesting because I'll just come up with some questions I've asked in the past, and we'll catch up. So first question, how do you define success?
Oh, man. For me, I want to wake up in the morning happy.
Okay. What is the thing you wanted to be when you grew up? So what was the first thing you wanted to be when you grew up?
You're going to laugh. I wanted to be in marketing.
Really?
I swear. Always.
Okay. All right. What is your favorite book or a book that you recommend everybody reads?
Oh, man, I'm reading it right now and I'm just loving it. It's Unreasonable Hospitality. I really am enjoying this book.
And I got that book right there. So I'm a big fan of that too. All about patient experience, customer experience.
I'm loving it.
Describe Mondays for you in one word.
Ooh. Hectic.
Okay. How about something you use, or how do you stay organized? Do you have voice memos? Do you do notes on your phone? How do you keep organized?
Oh, I Teamwork, which is a project management software, key.
Got it. Okay. Let's see. What about the future are you most excited about when it comes to marketing?
Oh man, I want to see where AI goes.
Big AI blows my mind what it can do now.
Blows my mind, man. Blows my mind.
And it's still just in the beginnings.
It is infancy.
What do you think a unique skill that you have that has helped you become successful?
Oh, I can relate to people really well.
Okay. If you had a magic stick, what are 3 things you would change in the world? Does not have to be business related. It could be anything you wanted to change.
Positivity. I'm just whacking it once. Positivity.
Okay. All right. What profession do you think is the most undervalued today?
I don't have an answer for this. Undervalued, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go with customer service at the grocery store.
Okay. That works. Let's see. What else we got here? If you achieved all of your life goals tomorrow, what would you do differently?
What would I do differently if I achieved all of them?
Yep.
I would try to find something new to really latch onto and make waves in this world.
Who would you love to collaborate with, and what would you love to collaborate on?
Seth Godin. It's a reach, right?
Yep. Yeah, hey, nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with the reach. Do you have a favorite business podcast?
I am really into the CEO. What is he called? Right now, I'm into the CEO boss, some CEO boss. I can't remember the name of it, but I really enjoy it.
Okay. Two last questions. What is your most satisfying moment in business?
My most satisfying moment in business, it's my team, seeing them succeed beyond my expectations. Love it.
Last question. I ask everybody this question. What is one subscription, so something you pay for, either monthly or annually, so a subscription, either business or personal, that you cannot live without?
Teamwork.
That's the app you were talking about.
That's the project management software. Cannot live without that.
Got it. All right, Jackie. Thank you for answering those questions. Tell people how they can reach out. Tell people how they can get a copy of your book, and anything else you wanted to kind of tell them about how they can reach out to you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We want to offer all of your listeners, all of your audience, a free copy of the book, Elite Dentistry. It is elitedentistrybook.com/raving patients. They can get a free copy. I will ship it to you for free, and we have 3 exclusive bonuses there, so please check it out.
If they have any questions or they want to reach out to you and set up a meeting, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, they can go to our website at mydentalagency.com, and there's a schedule a call button right there, front and center.
Okay, go ahead and schedule a call. Guys, if you liked what Jackie had to say, you connected with her through my conversations with her, if you're struggling with your marketing agency and you're looking for someone to take over, please reach out to Jackie. Let her know you heard about them from the podcast. It's always helpful for me. Tell your friends and colleagues about it. Review us, like us, subscribe, do everything you can to promote this podcast. I always like to thank the sponsors, both Dental Intelligence and CallRail, for their support, and remind everybody about my event in just about 5 weeks from now, superchargerdentalpractice.com, and use the code RAVING, RAVING, to save $100 on registration. Jackie, thank you so much for joining me today. And as I end every single podcast, remember, your reputation matters. Till the next episode, thanks, Jackie, and we'll talk to everyone soon.
Thank you.